There are two blessings that people greatly take for granted. It's free time and health. The other one that you guys have heard, it's an authentic hadith talking about taking advantage of 5 before 5. And one of those things is health. Ibn al-Qayyim, a great physician and scholar, he emphasizes this point. He talks about health is one of the most precious favors from the Almighty, from the Creator. One of the most precious favors that the Creator has bestowed upon His servants, the most generous of gifts, the most plentiful of His bounties. Rather than even more, health is the most precious of favors without exception. So it's fitting that whoever is granted a portion of it, of this fortune, that he cherishes it. He cherishes that health, that blessing. He preserves it, health, and he guards it against harm. And chronic disease, brothers and sisters, this is one of the greatest issues affecting our health. Let me share with you some staggering statistics that really push this point home. Do you know that we are the first generation? Kids in this generation are the first of its kind not expected to outlive their parents. Did you understand that? Let that sink in. Did you know that the government is expecting by 2040 that its federal budget, 100% of it will be going towards Medicare and Medicaid. 100% by 2040. That's how rapidly chronic disease is spreading. It's a health crisis, an epidemic. The department, get this, the Department of Defense has named chronic disease as an existential threat to this country. Let that sink in. Did you know that over 100 million, not 100,000, you know your zeros? 100 million people living in America, us Americans here, I'm born here, most of you born here, Americans, we love our country, right? Of course, people have diabetes or pre-diabetic. Let that sink in. And most people, they don't know that they have, or that they're expected to have full-blown diabetes too. And it usually takes to progress about 5 years. Am I correct? We got 2 doctors in the house. Is it right? Yeah. 30% of kids have chronic diseases. 30%. 1 in 2 Americans has a chronic disease. That's 50% of America. 1 in 2. It's either me or you. Let it not be either of us or any of us, God willing. 1 in 3 have multiple chronic diseases. You guys understand my English? ¿Do habla español? 40% of Americans are obese. Add that with the 30% that are overweight, that's 70% obese or overweight. I'm almost done, and then we'll bring on our special guest. 1 in 2 of Americans are expected to have cancer. 1 in 2. Very scary, very sad, and this all comes from chronic diseases that are reversible, that by lifestyle choices, by food choices, as our guests now are going to come on and talk about, we can go ahead and be, God willing, not included in this statistic. And we can start to help honor this vehicle that the Creator has given us to get us through life by cherishing it, by preserving it, and guarding it against many of these chronic diseases that are affecting the majority of us living today. So let me bring on our next speaker, Jim Marlowe.